So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we got the band Voidchaser. So, they got members in Montreal, Canada, and members in Stockholm, Sweden. So, we have members from everywhere. So, time
Everywhere.
is a motherfucker. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Chad, the singer, he's in Stockholm. It's 2 a.m. for him. So, Chad, thank you for doing this. Did you have a Red Bull or something?
Happy to do it. No, I'm raw dogging it. I had a
Mm.
nap. I played some Super Mario 3. Here we go, baby.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
When you're older, when you're in your late 30s to 40s, like you have to take a nap.
Dude, I turned 30 this year, or I mean, I guess last year, but yeah, I've recently discovered naps, courtesy of my fiance, and it's been a game changer. I never thought that naps were for me, but then you make it work.
Yeah. So uh,
Yeah.
I have three members from the band. So say your name and what you do in the band.
Yeah.
Oh, me,
Go,
you.
you go.
Okay.
You go.
I go. Well, hi, GC. I'm the bassist in the Void Chaser, and I also take care of everything management wise. But yeah, musically, I'm the bassist.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Go ahead, Jimmy. All right. Hi, I'm Jimothy Montbriand. I'm lead guitarist for Voidchaser.
Are you also in Montreal?
No, well, yeah, I'm near Montreal, but I'm in Rawdon. That's another place near Montreal.
Okay, nice. And obviously, Chad, you're the singer, Chad, right?
Yes, that's right. Chad Bernatchez, singer, rhythm guitarist, guess main songwriter. I hate to put that label on my head, but
Oh,
kind
you
of.
are founder, captain. Yeah, he's too shy about it, but yeah, captain. Chad is the captain. Captain is Chad.
Main delusional human being.
Exactly. Proudly delusional. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So you guys are a newer band, and you actually put out a full-length album just a few months ago in September called Solas, which I also listened to prepare to this album because I'm not that those interviewers that are freaks that get to the interview and they're like, "Well, talk to me about the album," and then you're like, "Did you
Yeah.
the album?" No, I didn't have time.
Yeah.
Like, you're
You're
like,
one of the
"Why the
yeah.
fuck are you talking to me?"
You're one
Yeah,
of the
man.
good ones. Yeah, you're one of the good ones.
Respect
Yeah.
for doing your homework. All right, well
Yes.
let's test your homework then. Here we go.
So I saw that. So I know it's a concept record. It feels like very like you're flying into outer space because there's six chapters, and the last one I think it was Goodbye. And now you have this EP which has two songs that obviously I read that these two songs are finishing the previous record. And my first question is like, why did you decide to put those songs apart from the solos?
Mm. That's a good question. Well, so it's actually there's a third song that's going to complete the EP that was coming out on March 7th.
7, yeah. This Friday, yeah.
This Friday, but depending on when this is uploading, whatever, so March 7th.
Yeah.
But I think the idea of the songs being separate, like, because Odyssey is also like Odyssey is kind of the precursor to Solace. Odyssey, the very first EP we had done, and I don't know, it just felt natural. It felt like Solace was a very like complete story from start to finish. Of this was like a very segmented moment in time, and Trust and the like all the songs on Trust kind of felt like they were their own thing that existed in this sort of chapter, but were kind of like an afterthought, and it wasn't like the main meat of the story. So it's in many ways, I think it's just it's an epilogue, and it just kind of felt better to do it separately. I'm really glad we did it separately too because we really got to experiment with a lot of musicians and musicianships and whatever, and we got Jimmy on board to do the lead guitars, and we had Colin on the drums for this one, and yeah, it was the decision to release it came after. I don't think we were originally planning on releasing this when we were doing Solace, but it just kind of felt right. These songs existed for a while, and we wanted to do them as the epilogue.
Yeah. And the songs are pretty cool. You have also collaboration. Someone from Calibra's Force is in one of the tracks. I think it's Trust, if I'm not
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
the other one features I can't remember the name right now, but it's what's the name of the other song? I know it's the longer song.
Dogma.
Dogma. Yeah, Dogma features. I can't remember the something. I didn't. I don't have my notes next to me.
Yeah.
But
The Anchor It, so you're looking. Yeah. Another popular Quebec band.
Yeah, that one is like a 9-minute track, and in the middle of the track you have that saxophone that comes in, and saxophone is something that like 10 years ago, if you would have told me that we're gonna be having saxophones on metal, I would have said, fuck no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bold.
It's very bold.
Yeah, I
It's
think
bold. And
Style were the first like put like the saxophone in the record, but yeah, on that song, it sounds really cool because I don't know, especially because in the middle, it gives it like that epic middle part, and then it goes into the end, and it's very progressive rock song. So Chad, you write most of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the concept in Dogma and Trust.
Yeah. So they all kind of basically all three of the songs um they kind of serve as like little, I guess, flashbacks of the character in Solace. We find ourselves at the end of Solace kind of just floating around in space, waiting to die, as grim as that is. So he's kind of like going through, or they're kind of going through their last the some moments in their life. Um, Trust, I think, comes from a place of anger or bitterness. You know, it's a very much about kind of the resenting the idea of having given so much to something, and like kind of going against what they believed in to just kind of fit with a mold or fit in with what they felt was right at the time. Um, and it's basically to just, blindly trusting somebody or something, and um, losing your sense of self in the process. Um, Dogma is a bit more literal with the imagery, where we find like a flashback of this character who had to make a very tough decision and leave a friend behind. There was the actual story is that there was a crash landing on this very um, volatile planet that had a lot of these electrical storms, and they only had a certain amount of window to make their escape. They need to use one of the storms that was passing by to power up a generator and get out. And there was a problem at the launch, and somebody had to go out and fix it. And then the captain had to make a decision of, am I going to wait for this person and probably not make it out of here, or am I going to get out with the crew and save the crew, right? So it's the idea of dogma is very much that sense of duty and that sense of you know, you can't save everyone as much as you might want to, and sometimes you have to make those decisions. And yeah, that's basically the song. And that saxophone solo is kind of that indicator of like the realization of the character being like, oh, this is gonna be a rough one. And then Time, the song that's not yet released, is we see the main character kind of dealing with a loss. They're losing somebody who's very close to them, and they're watching it happen, and it's kind of like it's a very kind of embracing the final moments that you have with people while you can, I guess, is the theme of that one. But yeah, they're all kind of, I guess, moments in time that the main character is just living with as he's kind of waiting to, you know, die in space.
So it's you're like it's like mixing sci-fi with personal like
Sure, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. I mean, I feel like in general, you know, you write what you know, and I'm a little guy with big emotions. And I think it's so that's really good for explain or sorry, that's really good for fueling the kind of content that I want to write. It's very inspirational, but then you know you just you throw a coat of sci-fi on it, and then it's cool.
Anyway. Yeah.
It's cool. It's not just some guy crying about stuff.
the apartment was like if the sorry if the EP was a guy crying in his apartment, it would be an EP record.
Yeah, exactly.
But you throw in the space stuff and you have a progressive metal record. So the logistic of you guys, you know, you're in Stockholm, the other band members are in Montreal. How did you guys get? How did you guys get together?
It's a good it's a good
Yeah.
question, and we definitely have like a long distance relationships, and it yeah, but we do everything remotely. Chad is very independent. He records his own stuff in Stockholm. I record myself in my home studio, and I go record the lead guitar with Jimmy at his place, and we go record the drums at Colin's place. So we go around a little bit, but most of it is remotely. And so we are not the kind of band that practices regularly. Well, we practice each one of us individually, but we talk all the time about new composition, about also about what's the best strategy to like promote the songs, and that's very important to us, and also like always find new gigs, produce our own concerts, our own tours in Canada, also in Europe. So we do all of this remotely by being constantly in contact through like calls, messenger, and stuff like that. But it's at first we thought it's gonna be like maybe even a deal breaker, like how are we going to make this work? But after a few months in this way of working together, we realized actually this could be an opportunity because it forces us to be even more serious, even more professional, and also it forced us to think outside the box. Yeah, because of this, because of the fact that we are an international band for what it means. Because of that, it forces us to think, okay, how can we push ourselves in Canada, and how can we push ourselves in Europe? So, and that's what's happening this year. We are touring in Canada, Eastern Canada especially, and after that, we're touring in Europe. So it forces us to be bold, just to apply to festivals in Canada, to apply in festivals in Europe. So it's more of an opportunity than something else. So yeah.
Yeah, and just to kind of add on that, you know, what's ended up happening a lot, I feel like it's just you see these a lot in game dev where you have one studio that's on the other side of the world and you basically just have somebody like there's constantly somebody with the puck. You know what I mean? So it's like I wake up and I have some shit from GC or some shit from Jimmy to kind of to work and whatever, and then by the time that they wake up, I'll have sent them something. So it's like we're playing hot potato while the other person sleeps. As weird as
24/7,
that,
yeah.
yeah, that sounded better in my head, but anyway, yeah. So
That makes
if anything, it's kind of made us more productive, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and another good thing is that you are both in countries where metal, there's a lot of metal bands. So if
Yeah.
you're in countries that nobody gave a shit about metal, then it would be harder, like to book tours. So Jimmy, because Jimmy's been so silent, let's hear about you, Jimmy.
What do you want to know? I'm the silent guy.
You get there and like I play the riffs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm kind of a composer. Like Chad will send me his garden, and I will put some flowers in it, and compose my stuff over it, and add some lead guitars. That's most of what I do. So I get the track, I put my tracks on, and I send it back, and then they just mix it in the studio.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think something very cool about this type of projects is right, and I think something that maybe after the pandemic, the only thing that good thing that came in that is that these type of projects were forced to exist.
Yeah.
With people like
Sure,
being
yeah.
way like, would you ever imagine if no one had done music at that time? Like it would have been like more depressing.
There's
Totally.
probably a lot of bands that are doing what we're doing, I'm sure of it, and maybe famous bands and stuff. We're probably not
Oh,
alone.
yeah.
And now that you have, softwares that can make you jam with other people in other countries, and I mean, having a jam with your friends online is now possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
We haven't
absolutely.
gotten there, but yeah. Yeah. It's cool.
Never did it, but I heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah. So let's. I want to share the artwork of the EP that's coming out this Friday, March the 7th.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're already in March. So here we have. This is the artwork for the upcoming EP. So tell me a little bit about this artwork.
Yeah, I'm curious. Tell me a little bit about this artwork, Chad. Let's go.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, we GC and I had like GC showed me this cool idea way back when. Because we like to throw uh AI generated ideas at each other. We never commit to them. It's just kind of like a tool to kind of express
Yeah.
in here. But we always go with an actual artist, and this artist that we've been working with for quite some time for quite some time, Sam Hard something Wood.
Harwood. Yeah. Close.
Harwood, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. I'm terrible with names. But Sam has been so he was the first he had done the artwork for the very first Valkyrie single, and then he done the artwork for Solace as well. And we're big fans of his. The original design was, the two, it was kind of like that religious image of the two fingers. It looked a little bit like that. Um, and it just kind of, I don't know, something we wanted to kind of have the something that looked very cool and sci-fi and epic. We wanted to translate also the idea of the astronaut, kind of floating aimlessly, and this kind of, invisible ghost hand that's reaching out to them is it's kind of a nice little subtle way of saying that they're they're kind of dying. So yeah, it's cool, and we're big fans of it. Like I said, big fans of Sam and his work.
Yeah,
Uh,
really cool, and I like the sci-fi thing. In space, no one can hear you scream.
that's right.
Unfortunately, that one's coined. so
Yeah.
so you can't. And so when you're like the story of when you're talking about the story of this record, I'm thinking if this becomes a movie, you should get Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Well, that movie where he's
The
where he
Martian. Yeah.
Yeah.
where
He grew potatoes in that movie, right?
I read the book. I read the
Oh,
actual,
okay.
and the movie's good, but the book is hilarious. Like,
Hilarious. Oh, okay.
well,
Okay.
there's a the book is divided like he's doing logs, and he's like log day 217, and there's a part in the log that the whole chapter is like he's thinking about like why does Aquaman wear underwear in the ocean and where does he?
Right.
And that's the chapter. And I'm like, oh, they didn't use that in the movie.
I wonder why.
Interesting.
Little
Interesting.
Jason
Great
Momoa
movie.
camo.
Maybe it's because no, Henry Cavill was Superman.
Yeah.
I no, maybe it's because DC would have sued, but yeah, the sci-fi aspect of it and Solas, I liked it because every song was like a chapter, and the vocals too. There's a lot of difference in your vocal chat. So tell me a little bit about like maybe like the type of vocals that you gravitate to.
Sure. I mean, I kind of big fan of Devin Townsend, big fan of Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth. Um and Steven Wilson too. I think that those are singers that I kind of gravitate to quite a bit because they kind of exist in in a world where my voice feels capable or safe. Devin Townsend's a bit of a stretch. I just like his style a lot. I don't think I can ever replicate what he does, but he's very inspirational in his expressions, and the way that he expresses his voice when singing. So I mean, I guess I gravitate towards that kind of stuff. I taught myself how to scream before I taught myself how to sing properly. Um, and it's just yeah, kind of happened from there. I think a big source of inspiration for my growls is Brendan Smalls from Def Clock. Because I basically kind of learned how to do this by trying to sing along to Def Clock songs, and all of a sudden it kind of made sense. And actually, if you listen to Def Clock, the Death Album 1, versus like if you listen to the Death albums in order, you can basically hear his technique get better. So I was kind of able to, I guess, follow along that way, and gauge how good my growls were getting based on what Death album I was at. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah,
And I started seeing a vocal coach when I got here in Stockholm, which I think helped immensely with the recording of Trust. I was kind of raw dogging it before when we were doing Solace and Odyssey, and now I have having been on tour and all that stuff, been seeing a vocal coach, and yeah, it's great.
no, yeah, and obviously it's good to you because you don't want to strain your voice with the techniques and everything. So what the other members, the bass player, come on, tell me like which bass players like inspired you to pick up the instrument?
Oh, which bass player?
The idea of wanting to be in a band and not having to deal with learning the guitar parts probably is what inspired you.
Yeah. No, actually, first, I'm a guitarist before bassist, but at some point in my life, I don't know why, I wanted to try bass and try playing bass in a metal band, and that's how I met Chad because Voidchaser was searching for a new bassist, and I just arrived. So I come from a guitarist background, and now I'm like now I'm doing bass, and I have to change my whole mindset. It's not sometimes the guitarist that becomes bassist just play guitar on bass, and it's not that's not the point. That's not how you do the bass section in the song. So I had to change completely my mindset. But I to answer your question, I don't have like a specific bass player who inspires me, but at some point in my life, I went to see a how do you say that, a Soen show, a show from the band Soen.
Mhm.
And it was fantastic. I loved it, and I really connected with like the bass player. I was just looking and listening to
Where?
Soen. Yeah.
I saw them a few weeks ago in Puerto Rico.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. It's so good. I really love these guys. And while I was enjoying the show, like I said, I really enjoyed the bass section, and I think that's a key moment where I thought, hey, I want to do that. I want to play bass in a prog metal band. So that's why maybe I I then try to find a band to pursue that intrusive thought. But but yeah, bass is fun. Bass is really fun. I really enjoy play bass, and especially in a show. Like the mindset I'm in a show is I want to move people. I want to see people moving. So I gotta find what's the groove of this riff. What's the best way I can play this riff and make people like wanna not dance, but a little bit.
As much as one can dance in odd time signatures.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's the spirit. I want people to be moved by what we do. It's not just technical, it's really like there's an energy that comes with it. And I want to create a groove. And so that's kind of my mindset when I play the bass, either in the studio or live. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Jimmy?
Well, on my side, I growing up listening to Metallica, and then started to play guitar and discovered Megadeth. So I throwed away Metallica and started to play Megadeth. And then I really loved how Marty Friedman and Dave Mustaine were, playing together, and so I'm a huge Marty Friedman and Dave Mustaine fan. And then growing up, there was Dream Theater, John Petrucci. I became a huge fan too. He has a huge influence on me. Children of Bottom and Machine Head. Machine Head for the riffs, Children of Bottom for the solos, lead sections, the melodies. I'd say these are my influences.
Now that you say Bodum, I totally wow, yeah, everything about what you did for Trust, like just like yeah, I get it now. I see it. That's where it is.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah,
such
Okay,
a
yeah,
great
makes
time.
sense. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
It seems you guys, everyone has like their own influences and things that they bring to the band. So when it came time to pick a name, uh, who picked Voidchaser?
This is a
Chad.
really dumb question because of how dumb the answer is. But yeah,
What?
so I thought of the name
Yeah. Chad,
and
be polite. Don't be a nice guy. It's a good question.
no, it's not it's a good question. It's just the answer's really unsatisfying. I was I was playing Divinity Original Sin 2. Shout out to Larian for making amazing games. And there are these enemies that you encounter super early called the Void Woken. And I just thought, Void, that's cool. What's a verb that I can tie to that? And then I went through them and then I was like, oh, chase. Yeah, chaser. And then when I said void chase, I was saying void chasers at first, whatever. And I was like, oh no, void chaser, like the void chaser, as in like a ship. And then that's where the name came from.
I should have thought it would be a video game reference because I saw the gold.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, and there's Pac-Man.
yeah, the Pac-Man, I got the
All of
star,
them.
I got
You got
fucking
Link,
Link,
all of
yeah.
them.
I got the Metroid up here. Oh, there you go. Metroid, Bullet
Oh,
Bill.
your old school Nintendo. Like,
Yeah.
like it would have been like you would have thrown me off if all of a sudden you had like Sonic, and then I'm like,
Well, actually, this is my it's too late blanket. Keep me warm
Yeah,
at night.
very-
Oh, man, I get like I wouldn't talk. I think well maybe if it's 2 a.m. and maybe I talk to James Hetfield, even if it's 2 a.m. But yeah, that's dedication, man. So yeah, but when you're saying like first you're like it's a stupid question, like oh my god, but then
No, it's not.
How rude.
It's just
No.
because of how stupid, like I feel a little silly having had thought this. It just kind of came to mind because I was playing a video game
so you're
instead of doing music.
old school like video game things. Yeah, they should make a Metroid movie,
Oh my God, dude, I
Oh
know.
yeah.
but
I love that.
they're probably gonna fuck it up.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Yeah.
the thing is that they really, when I don't know, I'm gonna show my nerdiness really quickly, but when they Metroid Other M was such a like fucking terrible take on the character and the universe, like trying to make everything super cinematic. And I don't know if they're gonna approach that because there's something kind of magical about Samus being a silent protagonist. And then when they did that in that game, it was like all of a sudden you had this like this person who was always portrayed as a this very stoic, badass, no bullshit, you know, hunter who was all of a sudden like really sad about stuff. And it was weird.
Yeah, I think the goodness of those early video games is like they didn't overthink shit.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it was just like you have the character, you have to get from point A to point B and not be killed. Now,
Yeah.
I haven't played video games in 10 years. The last ones I played were the Skyrim games, but I had
Oh, yeah.
a fucking book to play a game, and the book was like this huge, and I'm like, fuck, I have no time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is I get the I give myself a pass because I work in the game industry that I'm like, oh yeah, all right. This is you're studying for work. So I allow myself to take the time.
I think that's a cool profession, like video game industry. Plus, you play in a progressive metal band.
Yeah, I'm definitely every girl's wet dream.
You're, if you're single, that should be your Tinder profile.
Uh, I'm very much engaged to a very patient woman who does not think that this is weird.
It doesn't matter. You found a woman that finds your dorkiness adorable. So,
Something like that, yeah.
or she probably ignores you. Like
Yeah.
that's what my girlfriend does. When I start talking about music, she's like, I don't care. So, like, yeah, that's fascinating. The bands, yes. But yeah. So yeah, it's cool stuff. So the full EP is going to be out this Friday. Is it going to be out digitally or is there like a physical format?
First, it's going to be a digital release, and then in a few months before our next tour, it's going to be in a physical format. Yeah.
Yeah. We got
Yeah.
last time we were on tour, we got a lot of dedicated new fans that were very discouraged that they couldn't buy music
Yeah.
physically, which I thought I was my dumb assumption, my dumb ass thought that that wasn't a thing people wanted, but it was very much so. So yeah, we're doing it. To
Yeah.
anybody listening who's going to be catching a show, there will be physical copies of the music available. Captain's honor.
Oh, Captain's honor. Yeah, right. Yeah, I made the same assumption and I was really surprised. We went on tour and like at every show people were complaining, how come you don't have any physical CD to sell? And we
Yeah.
were like, okay. What?
Did you have T-shirts or merch?
Yeah, we had t-shirts and
Yeah.
a few other stuff, but no CDs. So people were really disappointed in us, and so we listened, and now
Yeah.
for next time we go on tour, we're gonna have physical CDs, but also cassettes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just for why not? Because people,
That's a
I
cool
don't
collector's item.
exactly, it's a collector's item. So, yeah, we're taking notes
Yeah.
all the time.
If you want to be innovative, release it on 8-track.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Would you
Well,
imagine no one's going to ask for an 8-track?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be a very limited run. Very, very expensive and limited run, excuse me.
Yeah.
Very limited. So yeah, it sounds like you guys have the plan together. You're like doing. I'm glad I got the promo. I saw that. You know what? The first thing that caught my eye was the artwork, and then I read.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds cool. Because sometimes I get a lot of promos. Like when I started the channel, I had to chase bands. See what I did there.
Oh,
Very good.
and now
Very good.
and
Send
now
him a hat. All right, sorry.
and now I get like bombarded. So there's so much music out there.
oh yes.
Yeah.
There's so much music and so much, well, I think so much good music. But yeah, promo is something that in 2025 we need to promote. If you want your songs to be listened to, you have to promote the songs to reach out to people like you who were kind enough to invite us to this interview. But yeah, this is something that we at some point we decided to take this game very seriously to
Yeah.
promote ourselves well professionally or to hire people who are dedicated professionals to promote our songs. But yeah, and it's working because in just 1 year everything is different in this band, and now we have like, well, we humbly have gained some kind of attention, and now people are not only our girlfriend or mothers or friends listening to Voidchaser, actual people are listening to Voidchaser, and that's a fascinating thing for me, and it's very fun, very motivating to know that okay, like people, like we don't have just supporters, we have fans, and that's like a completely different thing, and it's very inspiring to always push this project even more. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good that you have, like even when I know my mother, she subscribed to my channel, but she doesn't watch my shit.
I wish I could say the same about my mother, but she actually exclusively listens to Voidchaser now all the time. She's every time because we talk like maybe once a week now that I've moved to Stockholm, and she's
So
always got a
were
new
you
take on my song.
Montreal?
What's that, sorry?
Were you originally from Montreal and you moved to?
Yes, yes, that's right. Yeah. So my fiance and I wanted to kind of go live in Europe for to just to see what that was like, and got a job offer. So we kind of thought, hey, this is gonna be the end of Voidchaser, so let's put out an EP, and then let's have a show and have a good time, and then Jimmy wasn't yet in the band, but basically JC and I had done Odyssey in like the span of like a month or two,
Yeah, something like that.
and we were like, wow, that was really efficient. Let's just track all of the vocals for Solace just for fun. And then I move, in February, I move out, and we just kind of kept it going from there with the members that were in the band previously. And so, yeah, now here we are. This is Voidchaser
2.0.
2.0, I guess. That's
Yeah.
Hey,
with Jimmy just fucking slaying the track the lead tracks throwing in some Bodum stuff. I was really, what I loved about what Jimmy was doing is that I was like, oh man, this sounds like Deathclock, and I just felt like I was 13 or 14 again, discovering Deathclock every time I would listen to whatever Jimmy threw at us. Because we met Jimmy on our last tour actually. And
I was playing with my band, and they
How do
invited
you-
us to do a show, and then they contacted me after that event, and I guess everything worked out, and here we are.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you guys are doing some tour. Is the tour going to be in the summertime?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Oh, no one wants to tour when it's fucking like fucking.
Yeah. Well, the Canadian tour is late summer, and then Europe would be happening in October, because we're gonna be playing in Prague at Prague Power Europe, so we're gonna
Oh.
make it a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and are you guys already thinking of newer music, or is it too soon?
of where? Sorry?
New music.
Oh, new music.
Yeah.
Well, we are actually deep in the process of recording our next album, which is actually a 100 minutes double album. So this is a bold project that we are currently recording, and it's huge. It's really a huge, and I think it's gonna be. It's already like, well, it's the logical next step
Yes.
for Voidchaser after the LP that we released in September last year. This EP that we're releasing Friday, like the next logical step is just something that's even more bold, even more
Yeah.
exaggerated. So we are working on new music constantly, actually, but yeah, we are very deep into the process of recording next album.
Yes.
Awesome. Are you continuing the story of the character?
We are not. So this is, I think, like a lot of the kind of like the universe is the same, the world is the same, but this actually this particular piece would happen many years later after this. Whereas
It's going to enter right where
yeah,
we're at the end.
yeah,
Cover.
that's all right. Well, he'll be here for the grand finale.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this this next one, yeah, is sorry. It takes place quite a few years after the events of this first trilogy. So everything from Odyssey to Trust. It was kind of like, I guess, the instigator, and then many years later, here we are with the double album that I don't know if we want to name drop or not, but regardless, these so yeah, it kind of it picks up after with a different set of characters. We're kind of going in a little bit more with this crazy narrative concept as well, and I think a lot of the storytelling is much more based around the narrative and less about turning personal experiences into a narrative.
Yeah.
So the idea of the captain being the main character has kind of been dropped. And these are just kind of the repercussions of the captain's the captain's actions and those stuff. But we have Colin laying down the drums and all of that, and Jimmy laying down some amazing leads and all that, and it's crazy. And this is, I think, the most like GC said, it's the logical next step for Voidchaser, because I think that this is just like, this is Voidchaser being as Voidchaser as Voidchaser's ever been, and it's only gonna get more Voidchaser from here.
Yeah.
So Colin, how are you, man? I know that Colin joined.
Oh, can you hear us?
I don't know. I saw like I admitted him, but well, Colin
I
is
was the silent member. He's way
Yes,
more
hello.
silent than I am.
There he
Hello.
is.
Can people hear me?
Yeah.
You're calling Frank.
Okay, yes, hello. Yeah, sorry. I was waiting for Chad to finish talking. I was trying to see if I should have my in-ears or not because the mic on them is a little weird, so I just thought I'll just put my in-ears away, and I left my mic on mute, and while putting my in-ears away, I guess you guys started saying like, "Hey, so it's Colin here," and then I just didn't hear. But yes, hello, I am here. Apologies for the wait. I was making food and I didn't want to interrupt if you guys were doing the interview, which seems to be going on right now. So I do apologize for the slight unprofessionalism, but
Oh,
Fine.
so Colin, tell us a little bit about your drum process on this EP.
So for trust, yeah, so basically, so for the last few years, I've had a studio with one of my other bands called Ash Breather, and we just kind of have been taking advantage of this space to try to start pushing to just have our own spot to record more things for bands, and I've been trying to put myself out more out there to do more drums for projects and use this opportunity to well, yeah, get some drums recorded for this EP as well. And we just got to do it in the studio, no problemo, and it was all done in a day. And my bandmate McKay helped engineer everything, made the drums sound as good as they do. And GC sat with us as well, just to kind of, be a little judgy, make sure that everything is good, and just make sure everything matches with the songs, but I mean, the whole thing went really smoothly, and everything was good, and I felt good about the whole performance aspect of it. It was a lot of fun to play through, and very excited to hear how Jason ended up getting the songs to come out later on in the mix and everything. And yeah, it's cool.
Awesome, yeah. So yeah, glad you joined us. So we could talk a little bit about the drums in this. So yeah, the key, and I listened to Solas. It's great. So I would recommend to counters this if you like progressive metal with some like different type of like some genres thrown into it. Yeah, give Voidchaser a chance. And obviously, they're going to be touring more later the year, and they're working on a double album, and they're not going to call it The Astonishing.
No.
We were,
No,
we were
no.
really close, but
No, yeah, I mean, some influences will stand out, but we're not gonna try to be a little too direct with it, I suppose. But it is, we're going for something pretty grandiose with it. But I mean, we already got half of the drums done for it already, so that's already pretty exciting. So we're getting to it as soon as we can, so.
Well, JC, no, the guitar player, because you call it, even though you got here later, you've spoken more than the guitar player.
Jimmy's strong and silent.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired, guys. Sorry, I had a rough day and I'm working a lot.
Yeah. So, guys, it's been great to chat with you, and I like that I get to discover. It's awesome to talk to like awesome bands like that being established, but I like talking to underground bands because there's a lot of cool underground bands, and obviously Voidchaser, you guys are more underground band, but pretty cool stuff. So so before I let you guys go, especially for Shad, it's almost 3 p.m. at night there.
Yeah.
So anything you like to say to the fans before we go?
Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for listening. Obviously, Hector, thanks for having us. But yeah, no, thanks to everybody who listened, who's been showing their love and support. And we read the comments, we see you, we hear you. We're very thankful and appreciative that what we do resonates with you. And it only gets worse from here.
Yeah.
Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but okay.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
No, but seriously, yeah. Yeah, all what he said is 100% agree. If to the people watching this interview, man, that's a lot of support. That's great. Thank you, Hector, a lot. Thanks to this initiative. Thanks to Chill Dude on the Couch. It's really cool. It's been really a pleasure to meet you and to talk with you. I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. So thanks a lot for doing this, because people like you are kind of pushing positively, but pushing bands like us to continue doing music and continue doing what we love. So thank you very much.
no,
Yeah.
thank you guys, and yeah, no, like and people support your bands and subscribe to my channel too.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Chill Dude on a Couch.
So I
Subscribe right now here.
Yeah, hit that notification bell.
for people to discover bands. So
Yeah.
and of course I want to thank also Colin. Thank you for you made a late entrance but with style.
A lot of style. Yeah.
Yeah, I do apologize. To make up for that, since you're talking about subscribing, I'll make sure not just to subscribe with my channel, but with my band channels too.
Awesome.
There you go.
But
Good trade.
But
Good
Colin,
trade.
don't be like my mother who doesn't watch it. That's not helping because you're not watching because you don't care about any of these bands.
Oh,
She's missing.
I'm all about supporting bands. That's one of my other niches. I mean, I work with like two other media teams as well, all about pushing and supporting bands as much as possible. So, and not to mention on my personal channels, I'm always like posting what I'm listening to all the time and always
Yeah.
up to date on new bands. So, yeah, I guess you could probably say I'm like a mother for a lot of like bands in general. I guess it's like, oh, do the thing, it's great,
Mother.
and stuff. But that's just a thing that I do, and I also drum. It's fun.
Obviously, last but not least, where's the silent one?
Jimmy, the silent
Here I am.
protector,
Yes.
What's
the
up?
stoic badass. Jimmy actually is the way that I want Samus to be.
Nice.
Doesn't say much,
Silent.
stoic,
Yeah.
gets the
and
job
plays
done.
lead guitar
He's
for
like
Voidchaser.
Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A man
a
of few,
lot of wisdom.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's a
wisdom
good.
behind that smile.
Yeah.
but great riffing. So again, I want to thank you. You know, like getting everyone from the band with the different time zones to get to do this. So Couchers, the EP is out this Friday, the 7th of March, and Solas is already out. So go support new bands. So until next time, Couchers, this Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.